Hello, everybody. Welcome to a tropical update here. This is the wide red Atlantic right now. You can see what it currently looks like right now. Of course, the main thing to watch here is in the Gulf of Mexico here, soon to be back up to hurricane status. Tropical storm Zeta in the Gulf of Mexico currently with 70-mile-an-hour winds as of the latest National Hurricane Center update. And again, this is satellite imagery of the wide red Atlantic right now, just currently showing how things are in the Atlantic Basin right now. Here's a look at the forecast cone for Tropical Storm Zeta as of the 10 p.m. Central Standard Time advisory 14 from the National Hurricane Center. The center of Tropical Storm Zeta is currently located at 23.8 degrees north, 91.2 degrees west. Maximum sustained 1-minute winds at 70 miles per hour, of course, making this a high-end tropical storm. However, it is forecast to re-intensify back up to Category 1 hurricane status as it traverses the northern Gulf of Mexico here as it speeds up with time. And the current movement of the storm at this point in time is to the northwest at 15 miles per hour. But like I said, it's forecast to increase here in forward speed. So don't be too surprised if you see this rising throughout the night here in terms of its forward speed. And of course, hurricane warnings in effect for southeast Louisiana, Mississippi, pretty much all of Mississippi, and then tropical storm warnings in effect for pretty much all of Alabama, the coastal Alabama, and then parts of the Florida Panhandle there, as you can see. And here's infrared satellite imagery of tropical storm Zeta right now, and you can see how it's fired off more convection over its center of circulation there. With time earlier, it didn't really look too good as it came off of the Yucatan Peninsula here, but of course now it's refired convection over its center of circulation here, and really trying to get its act together. Reconnaissance plane has been in the storm throughout the past 3 hours here, and found the storm pretty much a little bit slightly weaker than it was originally, but like I said, once the winds catch up to its satellite appearance, then it's again, forecast to re-intensify here back up to Category 1 hurricane status here, which is not something to take lightly whatsoever. And there's water vapor imagery, of course, of Tropical Storm Zeta right now. And you can see how the storm currently looks like on satellite imagery. Earlier, just about 24 hours ago, in the Gulf of Mexico, you'd be hard-pressed not to find a dry, stable air pretty much surrounding all the Gulf of Mexico here. But as Tropical Storm Zeta traversed over the Yucatan overnight, and once it emerged back, it really pushed out a lot of its moisture there around the Gulf of Mexico. So now it's kind of making its own environment here per se, in terms of its moisture here. So it turned all that dry, stable air into moist, really favorable air for the system here as it progresses over the Gulf of Mexico. Switching basins, here's a look at the West Pacific right now. Of course, we've got Typhoon 21W, also known as Malavia, nearing landfall here at Vietnam. And then we also got Tropical Depression 22W, which has recently developed as well. First off, let's take a look at Typhoon Malavia, which is a 90-knot system, which is about 102 miles per hour, making us a Category 2 typhoon as it nears landfall over Vietnam here. And again, it's forecast to continue weakening here, and especially start to pretty much rapidly weaken here as it goes over Vietnam here shortly. And here's satellite imagery of that as well. You can see close-up infrared imagery of the storm and how it's progressed over the past 2 hours here, and you can really tell it hasn't strengthened whatsoever here. And again, it's forecast to continue weakening as it nears landfall, and once it goes over land, rapidly weaken here. And here's water vapor imagery as well of the typhoon now, and you could get a wider view of things and of how the storm is doing. And then here's a look at Tropical Depression 22W, which recently developed now. And they can see satellite imagery of that, a gradually intensifying system here. And 22W is forecast to intensify into a typhoon here, eventually perhaps threatening the Philippines here as a decently strong typhoon here of about a Category 2 intensity. It's forecast to peak at around a 90-knot typhoon here, pretty much right at landfall over the Philippines here, which again is about 105 miles per hour, making us a solid mid-range Category 2 typhoon here as it makes landfall over the Philippines, from what the Joint Typhoon Warning Center is saying in the latest forecast cone for this system. And back to Tropical Storm Zeta here. Here's a look at the peak surge graphic for Tropical Storm Zeta here. I know you saw that earlier. You saw it right now and read this if you want to. There's a little bit of crucial information below this here as well that you might want to stop the video right now and just take a look at it if you're going to be affected by this storm here later down the line. And here's a look at the key messages from the National Hurricane Center. And of course, you can stop the video right now and read this if you want to. And this is a Spanish version of that as well if you want to stop the video right now and read that as well. And all in all, just for I guess a wide summary of things here, in Atlantic wide at least, please keep an eye on Tropical Storm Zeta. It's forecast to re-intensify back up to Category 1 intensity here as it traverses over the Gulf of Mexico, either making landfall in Louisiana or Mississippi here. And it's supposed to increase its forward speed as well here as it progresses over the Gulf of Mexico here. It's not going to slow down. It's not going to stay at its current forward speed. It's going to be increasing in forward speed as it nears landfall here over the Gulf Coast of the United States here, unfortunately. So that's good for the reason, of course, that the hurricane force winds as the storm starts to intensify back up to Category 1 status, so it's forecast to. Those Category 1 winds are not going to be felt for a long period of time in pretty much any given part of the Gulf Coast here. But that's also bad news, of course, that it gives you guys less lead time here ahead of the system to prepare for it if you have to do any last minute preparations or not. If you are planning on evacuating, and if you are under mandatory evacuation, please evacuate as soon as possible. You have till about 8 in the morning tomorrow to evacuate here before tropical storm force winds start to be felt along the coastline here, and when it starts to be dangerous to be out and about here trying to get last minute preparations or try to get out. So again, you have till about 8 in the morning tomorrow to either decide um, if you're going to leave, if we're not under mandatory evacuation, or if we're under mandatory evacuation to leave and get out. Um, and again, around 8 in the morning is when tropical storm force winds are forecast to be occurring along the coastline, and it's a general estimate here, of course, if the storm stays constant, and it's not stays constant, but doesn't increase in forward speed as fast as forecast, then of course that time could change, or of course if it goes faster, then it's forecast increased forward speed here, then that time can change as well. So at this point in time, we have till about 8 in the morning here for those of you guys along the coast to either finish preparations here or get out of the way of this system. And in the West Pacific, of course, please keep an eye on Tropical Depression 22W as it may pose a threat for you guys in the Philippines later down the line here. Just please keep a close eye on it. Of course, listen to your local officials. And of course, for you guys in Typhoon Malavia, just hang in there. It's going to be over soon. And again, just listen to your local officials for there as well. And also listen to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center and Japan Meteorological Agency for information on both 22W and Malavia here as the hours tick on by here. And then for the Atlantic side of things, keep an eye on the National Weather Service and National Hurricane Center for the latest information on Tropical Storm Zeta here as it is forecast to re-intensify back up to Category 1 hurricane status here. So that's pretty much going to be about it for this tropical update here. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability here. And if you want to see what links that I use, I have all the links down in the description below. Just click on the links there, and you can get information yourself to better get information yourself on the current systems currently active in the world of the tropics right now. So that's pretty much going to be about it for this tropical update here. Hope everybody has a great day, and wherever you guys are, stay safe, of course. Until then, see you guys in the next video. Peace.